right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Free. I'm Ryan. I'm the pastor and executive director here. This is Carrie. She is the associate executive director here. Welcome to all of you on a Saturday night, and to all of our online people, welcome to you. We're glad you're with us this evening. Whatever state you're joining us from, or sober living, or treatment center, or kitchen, or bathroom, or dining room, wherever you're joining us from, we're glad you're here, part of this community. Hey, this is a community for addicts, loved ones of addicts, and spiritual refugees. And what we do here is break the silence of addiction while creating space for healing, recovery, and spiritual connection. And there's always one thing we don't do here at Free. You can shout it out on the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
We don't do shame.
We don't do shame, but Carrie, tell us some things coming up that they might want to know about.
Yes, welcome. If you are new with us tonight, we would love to get to know you better. After service, join us just outside of these doors, and we'll get you hooked up with one of the welcome bags. Inside the welcome bags, you'll find some fresh roasted wagon coffee by the phenomenal Tammy Candidate and all of the women that she employs at Wagon Coffee. It is some of the freshest coffee that you will find. It's absolutely amazing. You'll also find some free swag and our Connect card. Our Connect card is how you get on our newsletter so you know all the different events that we have going on here, including who the guest storyteller is each week. So that's kind of a little fun, a fun way to just kind of understand what's happening and things to look forward to. Speaking of which, we have 2 new meetings to talk about. Well, this one's not technically a meeting, but this is happening every month now. I do believe they're going to actually take September off, but Zach Bloom and a couple of his friends are putting together this workshop that's called Back to Basics. So it's based on the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and it's a way to get through all 12 steps in one day. And what this is, it's a great overview, even if you've done the steps before, if you've never done the steps before, if you just kind of want to understand a little bit more about what the steps are. This is a great workshop. It's absolutely free. You do need to register just because space is limited. It's out in the cafe. I think last month they had like 60 people. So seating in the cafe does get limited. But it is on Saturday, August 17th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can also email Zach Bloom. This is going to be on our social and on our Facebook, so you can find this flyer there. It is also on our newsletter, so get signed up for our newsletter.
That's a lot of 12-stepping in, 6 hours?
It's pretty good, though. So bring your sponsees, bring your sponsor. It's one of those things that, like, a high level, you can kind of get a little bit, even if you've been through the steps before, it's a great way to go a little bit deeper and see what it's all about. We also have another new 12-step program coming, and this one is for Gambling Anonymous. So this is called New Odds. So this is I don't know if you guys remember, a couple weeks back we did the problem gambling. Danny gave the message. We had the guest storyteller was there. And then we're going to have a panel coming up at the second week of September, I believe. So this is a new meeting that we're going to be, it's going to be here at Free. It's going to be in this room in the back. And it's on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. If you need more information, you can contact either Danny, Jerome, or Terry Ann, who is here tonight. So Terry Ann, will you wave your hand real fast? So Terry Ann can know a little bit more if you guys have questions.
What a great name, New Odds. Did you come up with that?
I mean, I cheated with ChatGPT, so I'm not going to lie.
So good.
But how cool is ChatGPT, right? Like, I can't claim it. I live a program of rigorous honesty.
We appreciate your honesty.
Thank
yes.
you.
Okay, thank you,
All
Carrie.
All right.
Well, let's tell them where we're going to be next week, so people aren't freaked out. Not that people would be freaked out. But this is some exciting news. I mentioned it last week, but it's worth saying again. Free Recovery Chicago, if y'all are watching tonight.
We're coming for you.
We are coming for you. They're officially launching in September, but they're doing what they're calling a preview gathering next Saturday. So me and Carrie and Danny Colella and Shanley from our board, we're going to fly out there and spend some time with them. Can't wait to be with y'all. They're launching in September, but starting, like I said, a little preview gathering this Saturday. I think Seth, y'all know Seth, Pastor Seth Botts. He's hoping to have 100 people there, downtown Chicago. It's going to be all kinds of fun. And so keep them in your prayers. Send them some good mojo because I know what it's like to start something new, and it comes with like shaky hands and nerves, and you remember these early days. It was scary and exciting, so prayers for y'all. We'll see you soon.
But
Yes, tell them about next
y'all
week.
still want to come, because what's happening here next week while we're gone is Jasmine Gray from Cross Purpose, right?
Yes.
She is remarkable. So she'll be delivering the message. And then Saman, who is a beloved community member here, she's going to be doing the guest storyteller and all of the other.
And it's going to be Sam from Full Circle. That dude, it's going to be good. You should come to that next week. It's going to be all sorts of fun and power.
Yes, so please come.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got for
thank
you.
you, Carrie. The way we get started here in this community is with celebrations. We start with the good. We lift up the good. We take 3 minutes for this. Maybe you're celebrating a sobriety anniversary or a birthday or a new job, a new home, new baby, whatever the new thing is in your life in recovery. We celebrate it all here. If you're online, drop your celebration in the Facebook comments or YouTube comments. We'll join with you there. If you're in-house, Darren has a mic on this side. Kiera will have a mic on this side. You can simply raise up your hand, and let's do the good news, shall we? Let's take 3 minutes.
My name is Layla. I've got 94 days clean and sober today. Just celebrated my birthday last Monday, and Simon took me to do a 100-foot bungee drop, and I survived. So
There you go. Adventure. Happy 94 days, Layla.
Hi, my name is Nikki. I'm a recovery coach at 5280 High School. We had the first day of school on Thursday, and I just want to give a shout out to all the new kids, all the returning kids. And we have new staff. We have some heavy hitters this year, so I'm just really excited for this year.
Yeah.
The first day was lit, as the kids would say.
Lit, as the kids would say it. Yes, thank you for your work, Nikki. Congratulations to all the kids going back to school.
Hi, my name is Courtney, and tomorrow I'm celebrating 90 days.
90 days. Way to go, Courtney. Congratulations.
Hi, my name's Eli, and after 5 years of being apart from the majority of my family, I'm now back in my dad and my sister's life for, like I said, the first time in 5 years, so happy about that.
Yeah, way to go, Eli. We'll celebrate that, brother. Beautiful. Others, celebrations. Shall we just make it awkward with silence?
Got a few celebrations. We have been married 40 years as of July 27th,
Wow.
which was not missed.
Happy 40 years.
And then we also have two granddaughters, October or August 2nd and 4th, that just turned 3 and 5. So a lot of good celebrations.
Yeah, that's worth celebrating. Thank you, John. Anyone else? One final one. You got 15 seconds. Kai's got something to say. No? It was like one of those not so good ones? Okay. All right, well, thank you, Darren and Kiera. Tam, you want to join me up here? Shall we join with our online people? I'm going to put this mic in.
Hi, guys. You know, we'll celebrate kids going back to school. We have a high schooler, a junior higher, and 2 elementary schools.
4 different schools this year.
3.
3
4
different
kids,
schools.
3 schools, yes.
That's also
Math is
confusing.
hard. It's going to
All
be
right.
busy, though.
It's going to be good.
Hey, Jennifer, just celebrated my 18 months recently. Also down 50 plus pounds since my gastric sleeve surgery in April. Also, yay, Layla, love you.
Yeah, we'll celebrate that, Jennifer. Congratulations to you. Mimi says, hi, Free family. We are celebrating Andre having 18 months of sobriety.
Awesome.
And I received a big scholarship for nursing school, which starts September 2nd. Congratulations,
Good job,
Andre
Mimi.
and
Awesome.
Mimi.
Kuyala says, first time here at the service, 1 week without alcohol.
All right, welcome
awesome.
to you. We're glad you're here. Congratulations on 1 week. That's a long week.
Short and sweet.
Yeah. Thank you, Tammy. All right, y'all. Well, we are in the second week of this 5-week series called Let Them and Let Me, which is based on the book by Mel Robbins called Let Them. Last week was the first week, and it was Let Them Leave. This week is kind of similar, but a bit different. It's called Let Them Judge You.
The next time you feel left out, your friends all go out to brunch together and they don't invite you. Let them. Or maybe the person you're dating doesn't want a commitment. Let them. Or perhaps your spouse does not want to do the 5K with you. Let them. Your company is laying people off. Let them. You spend so much time and energy trying to control other people and getting emotionally worked up about things that are beyond your control. You can tap into peace and true control if you let them be themselves.
So here's what
The next time you feel left out, you're...
Well, we might need that message again. But here's what I've learned over the years. You might want to write this stuff down. Very important. If you are kind enough, everyone is going to like you. If you are articulate enough, you will never be misunderstood. And if you are authentic enough, you are never going to be judged by anyone. And y'all know that's a bunch of BS. Simply not true. The truth is, not everyone is going to like you or even understand you, and there will be times where you are judged by other people, and I would tell you, welcome to life. So I used to make frequent hospital visits to Littleton Hospital. This was part of my pastoral duties at the church where I was serving as pastor. And do y'all know what I love about Littleton Hospital? They are one of the few hospitals in Colorado that has clergy parking only. And there's one parking spot. And you can pull right up to the front of the hospital near the front doors, and you can walk in and get in and out, which is not a great way to get your steps, but it's a great way to be efficient. So I would pull in, and I'd park in that parking spot. And y'all, it happened more than once. I'd pull in, I'd step out of the car, and someone would stop me and say, "Excuse me, that parking's for clergy." And the first time it happened, I'm bothered. I'm thinking, why are they judging me? Who are they to judge me? They don't know me. I could have brought my credentials. The second time that happened, I'm a little bit bothered. By the third time that it happened, it was like, you know what, Ryan, you're going to be judged. So what? Move on. Let them judge you. And the third time, I park, I'd get out of the car, and it's a little old lady. And she was so nice. She was standing there with her cane and her handbag in one hand, and I get out of the car, and she says, "Excuse me, sir, that spot is for clergy." And I said to her, yeah. I'm clergy, ordained clergy. I'm here to see someone from my congregation who's very sick. And then she starts to laugh at me. I think she was maybe laughing with me. She says to me, "Oh my goodness, you don't look like a pastor." And by this time, she had me laughing and smiling, and we started walking together. And I looked at her, and I smiled, and I said, "Yeah, I've heard that before." And see, sometimes it's easy to let them judge you, but y'all do know sometimes it's really hard to let them. It's really hard to shake it off. Like, let me ask you this question. How many of you, when it comes to the religious stuff, you say, "Man, I just don't belong. Like you say, man, I see the value in God, and when it comes to faith, I see the value in it, but man, I just feel like I don't belong. I look at the church or I look at religion, and it all seems just a bit too judgmental. Yeah, the Pew Research Center, they're a nonpartisan American think tank. They do a lot of research, and then they release statistics and articles on some of the major issues of the day: socioeconomic issues, political issues, religious issues, and they look at trends that are shaping the U.S. and the world. And they recently told us that one of the fastest growing groups when it comes to the religious landscape in America, one of the fastest growing groups in America is what's called the religious duns, D-O-N-E-S. And we talked about the religious duns here before. And if you don't remember, the religious duns are those who were once active in a religious community, committed to it, but they aren't anymore for a variety of reasons. In fact, Pew Research Center told us that 66% of Americans ages 23 to 30 said they stopped attending church after turning 18. Why? Among their top reasons was the church seems too judgmental. And y'all, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. I mean, it's very clear that there is very little interest today in institutionalized or organized religion. But research and my experience also show me that there are still so many of us who still want to be on a spiritual journey together and to know that we're not alone. And y'all, I do get it. Some of you've had really negative experiences with religious institutions or communities. And maybe as an addict or as a person in recovery, you went into that community and you just felt judged. You felt like you didn't belong. There was just, you gave yourself to it, but you didn't feel a sense of belonging. You felt judged. Or maybe as the loved one of an addict, the loved one of someone in recovery, you went into this church or you went into this community, but you never felt a sense of belonging. They didn't speak your language. They didn't get it. You felt judged by them, and it wasn't just you personally, but you even felt like your loved one who was battling addiction or in recovery, you felt judgment towards them. Or maybe you were like honestly seeking, exploring, and you went in and you had all these big and honest questions and doubts, and you expected these questions and doubts would be engaged, but instead you were told that they're just a lack of faith on your part. You thought they would be engaged, but instead they weren't welcomed, and you felt like you didn't belong. And so many people, they couldn't stomach it anymore, and they give up. And yet still, something deep down within you tells you not to give up on the God idea, especially if you're in recovery, recovering from addiction, that you have experienced too much grace, too much goodness, too much of something more, too much mystery. And something deep down within you tells you not to give up on community, that your need to journey with other people is too great. And be careful with this one, because you might start to notice that this fear, when we live into this fear of being judged, do you ever notice how it keeps you standing at a distance? And it even silences your voice. Like I remember, this was several years ago now, but it was the first time that I stated publicly that I no longer believed in this theology of an eternal hell. This idea that God is going to send some people who don't do it the right way. They didn't invite Jesus into their heart, or they didn't do it the right way. That God's going to send some people to this eternal place of suffering, of fire, where they're going to spend forever and ever and ever. And then other people, if they did it the right way, if they have the correct mental, theological furniture arranged correctly up here, then they're going to go celebrate in heaven forever. I mean, I always had the question, like, what about Gandhi? He's not one of us. He's not Christian. Certainly didn't accept Jesus into his heart. But is Gandhi really burning in hell forever? Is that who God is? And I knew when I gave this message publicly, I knew it would be a big deal for some people, especially the people of my past, my upbringing. And you have to understand my upbringing, the religious culture that I was raised in. I mean, this belief of an eternal hell was central to who we are. It was central to the whole thing. It's why we did it, to escape the bad place and go to the good place and get others to go with us. And do you know, after that, I received many emails and social media messages. And the kinder ones said things like, man, Ryan, you're really confused. Ryan, you're really going astray. Ryan, you need to come back on the path, man. You need to join the fold again, man. What's happened to you? And some of the harsher ones said things like, you're a false teacher. You're a wolf in sheep's clothing. There's a special place in hell for leaders like you. Do you know, I remember one of the comments. It was an email. It was from someone in my past, and I looked up to this person. And they wrote me a 2-paragraph email. But only one line stood out to me, and I'll never forget this line. He said to me, quote, and we thought you were going to be a good Christian leader. And man, that one crushed me. And what do we do when we're crushed by judgment? Man, when we're crushed, if you're like me, you can start to spin out. And I'm saying to myself, man, some of you, you know me. Now, others of you, you're just like strangers, you're trolls. I've never met you, you're easy to write off, but others aren't so easy to write off, and you know me, and don't you know my heart? I mean, don't you know I have struggled with this stuff? I've prayed through this stuff. I didn't just arrive here overnight. It was like years in the process, and you know me. And then you start to spin out, and you start questioning yourself. Well, maybe I did it wrong. Well, maybe if I could have been more articulate, I wouldn't have been so misunderstood. And then what would happen? I would get into these endless debates on social media trying to convince them. Laying out here's the scriptures, here's the backstory, here's the context, here's what was happening historically, here's what it actually says, here's the scriptures, I've studied this stuff, and you do know those conversations never end well, especially on social media. And today I can tell you 9 out of 10 times, I do not respond to those comments or those emails. I let them. Took me a long time to get there, but I let them. Because the truth is, not everyone is going to like you. You are going to be misunderstood. You will be judged by others. Welcome to life. But see, the real question we got to ask ourselves is it possible? Is it possible for you to release the fear of being judged or even rejected? And I know, y'all, this is a big one. It's one that so many of us struggle with, because if we're honest, being judged, being rejected, especially if it's by people that we love, that we thought loved us, well, it hurts, doesn't it? It's painful. And some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you strayed from a belief system, one that was handed down to you in your childhood. You strayed from it, or you strayed from the cultural norms that were passed down to you. And you were judged by people you loved. You were rejected even by family members, and it hurts. And here's what happens when they are judging you. They don't understand you. And they're going to say mean things to you, and they're going to lash out to you. They're going to say things. You're dating him? Wait a minute, you're going to which school? You're doing that for your career? Because we expected you were going to be a doctor. Wait a minute, you're going to which spiritual community? You're going to free? What is that? Can't you just go to a normal church? They'll say mean things, and they'll lash out, and guess what? Let them. It is not your responsibility to manage their emotions. They are adults. It is not their path. It is your path. Or maybe you got into recovery and you're new at this stuff, and this fear, it keeps you standing at a distance. You sit in the back because you have this fear of, well, how's it going to come out? How's it going to be heard? What if they don't understand me? It's the fear of being judged, but it's this deeper fear of being misunderstood because you don't know what to do with it. And you say, man, I can't stand any more rejection in my life, so I'm just going to let it take my voice. I'll just stand at a distance. And I would tell y'all, if you want to maintain a sense of belonging in your life, you will have to learn to get okay with being judged and even rejected. And I know it's hard, but the other thing that I know is if you stay bound up in all the fear, you will begin to lose yourself in their judging and their rejecting. You will begin to feel isolated and alone, and you, my brothers and sisters, are not alone. Do you know in her book, Let Them, the book that the series is based on, Mel Robbins, she drops this line. She says, you don't need everyone to get it. You need the courage to keep going even when they don't. And I say, that's great. I agree with it. But how do you release that fear? How do you just keep going? And I would tell you, stop playing with the judgers. Don't play the game. Stop playing with them. Do you know what fascinates me? This first century Jewish rabbi named Jesus. Man, it's like he just kind of mastered this stuff. And isn't it interesting? I mean, at the end of his life, when he is arrested by the Romans, then he's put on trial by the Romans. I mean, this is just before his horrific crucifixion on a Roman execution stake called a cross. I mean, right before this, he's brought to a Roman official for questioning. And check out this ninja move that Jesus pulls. Pilate's a Roman official, Pilate asked him, are you the king of the Jews? Jesus replied, that's what you say. I mean, do y'all see what he does? It's like he smiles at Pilate and says to him, yeah, I've heard that before. Oh, it keeps going. He's then passed off to another official named Herod for some more questioning. What happens? Herod questioned Jesus at length. Here's the ninja move. But Jesus didn't respond to him. Why? Because he knows that they are already committed to judgment and misunderstanding. Jesus don't play. He stays silent. The chief priest and the legal experts were there fiercely accusing Jesus, and it's like he says, let them. But it's not because he's weak, and it's not because he doesn't have a backbone or he doesn't have a thought. It's because he knows who he is and he knows his purpose. And isn't it interesting? Who are the ones that Jesus responds to? It is not the judgers. No, he responds to those who know judgment and rejection. Because see, as he's hanging there on a cross, being mocked and tortured, the text tells us that there's others hanging on either side. The text describes them as criminals, their word, not mine. One of those criminals looks over at Jesus and says, Jesus, will you remember me when you come into your kingdom? How does Jesus respond? Jesus replied, I assure you that today you will be with me in paradise. And y'all, I don't know exactly what paradise is. But it's like Jesus looks at him and says, man, don't you get it? Don't you get it? The judgers don't get the final word. God always stands with the shamed and the rejected. And in those moments when you are feeling misunderstood or judged or even rejected, do you know who stands with you? You're not alone. Let them. Now, it needs to be said, we need to explore this one. We need to discuss this one. Because I would also remind you, you do have to do the work. You have to do the work. I would encourage you to take constant inventory of your life. Always look at on a regular basis, examine your motives, examine even your actions, because you want to go to bed at night with a clear conscience. A clear conscience makes for a very good pillow. You say, well, Ryan, why are we talking about this one? Well, what it means is you cannot go run amok in the world and hurt other people and cause some chaos and then stand back and try to play the victim. And we do that sometimes, don't we? We cause some chaos and we want to stand back and say, I'm being rejected. Look, they're just judging me. Why do I say this? Because how often did we do this in addiction? This is old behavior. Oh, we go out and get drunk again, we cause a mess again, we create some chaos, and then they tell us, that family member says, we don't want you coming around anymore, and what do we say? They're rejecting me. They don't love me. They're just judging me. Y'all, this was me on Christmas Day 2012 when I got drunk again, and my sister said, I don't want you coming around anymore. I don't want my kids to see you this way. I'm the victim. She's judging me. She's rejecting me. No, she was putting up boundaries, and boundaries are not the same as rejection. They are different. You see, sometimes we are rejected, but we're actually asking for it because we keep pushing those boundaries and we keep crossing other people's boundaries. And in active recovery, you can actually check yourself and you can make sure your motives are clear. And see, when you've turned your life over, your will over to the power of God, as you understand God, whatever you call God, higher power or the ultimate reality or the grounding of your being, when you've done that and you are in alignment with Spirit, then you can let them misunderstand you. Let them judge you. Let them reject you because you know who walks with you and you are not alone. It's interesting, this kind of miracle happens. That when you do that, you can transcend all the judgment, all the rejection, all the noise. It's like the ancient psalmist said, God is with me, I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? You see, when you know who you are and when you know why you're here and you know who goes with you, you can let them. I mean, think about it seriously. What can mere mortals do to you? You keep going. You don't buy into the cynicism anymore to say, well, I'm being judged. I'm being rejected. I don't belong, so I'm just going to disconnect. I might even go back to an old way. I might pick up a drink again. Now that's old behavior. Stop entertaining every person who doesn't like you. Stop entertaining every person who misunderstands you. Stop entertaining every person who rejects you, who judges you. You can simply say, with a smile, of course, yeah, I've heard that before. And there is one other thing we need to talk about. One other thing that needs to be said. Because you might remember from last week, let them is not the same as F them, right? Two different things. And I would remind you with this week, similarly, let them is not F everyone. Why do I say that? How many times do we say, or how many times do you hear other people say, man, I don't care what anyone thinks of me, I'm just going to do me. Oh, it makes you sound tough. Might even make you feel tough. But it ain't true. It's not true. You do care what others think of you. You care about that. The sweet spot, the real wisdom is finding who those people are. And by the way, it cannot be everyone. But I have people in my life today that I care about what they think of me. These people have earned that voice. They've earned that access. Choose these people wisely. And do you remember how just a few minutes ago I told you that 9 times out of 10, I do not respond to those comments? It's true. But I did have one of the 10 just a few weeks ago. I, in that moment, did not let them. Oh, I wanted to respond. And I did. It was on June 2nd. I posted this meme on my social media pages. It was the beginning of Pride Month. Yeah, this pastor loves you, but more importantly, God loves you and always has and always will, and no matter what you may have heard or been taught. Yeah, I posted that. And then later that evening, I was scrolling through social media, and I saw a comment on my post, and it was from a guy I haven't talked to since high school. 25 years ago. I haven't talked to him in 25 years. And he writes a comment, public comment on my page. He quotes a scripture, and then he says, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand!" Exclamation point. And Ryan was feeling triggered. Oh, I gotta respond. I gotta stand up for myself. I gotta stand up for other people. Oh, I've got to respond. And that's what I did. I wrote a snarky response back. And then 5 minutes later, my phone rings. And it's a dear friend of mine from middle school. We've remained great friends to this day. And he says to me, he says, "That got you, didn't it?" I'm talking to you. I'm trying to play dumb. What? What do you mean? He says, I saw the comment you made, man. It's public. I saw it. Like, that got you, didn't it? Well, then I got to protect myself, so I lay into my story. And I said, yeah, you know what that mother trucker does? Every time, man, I can post a celebration, a family photo, a picture of my kids. He never comments, never so much as hits the like button. But the minute he sees something he disagrees with, like God loving all people, or when I wear my F fentanyl hoodie, man, that dude has something to say. And yeah, I had to stand up and say something back. And you know what he said to me? Dear friend for many years. He knows me well. I know him. He says, yeah, dude, I'm with you on all that. But dude, that comment, he says, you're better than that. And he says, Ryan, you actually know stuff about this stuff, and that didn't even make you look smart. Yeah, see, he's a good friend. I care about what he thinks about me. He's earned that right. He's earned that voice, that access. And you know what I could have done? I could have just smiled and taken my phone out and said, yeah, I've heard that before. I didn't do it. You see, the people who know you, the ones who've journeyed with you, allow them to call you out because they actually love you and they want what's best for you. You are not above their gentle correction. And let them is not F everyone, I'm just going to do me, and I don't care what anyone thinks. It won't serve you. And see, in those moments where you are feeling judged, let them, but don't isolate. In those moments where you are feeling misunderstood, let them, but don't give up on community. In those moments where you are feeling judged and rejected, let them, but don't give up on the God idea. Because you have experienced too much grace, too much goodness, too much something more, too much something bigger than you. And you, my brothers and sisters, are not alone. So here's what we'll do. Lily Blue is going to sing a song for us. I met Lily Blue at Sober Open Mic Nights, where she comes and does the most amazing and beautiful performances. She's a person in recovery, and she said, hey, I might have some songs that would be perfect for this series. And she sent me this song this week that is called Bad Blood, and Lily Blue is going to play and sing this song for us. And during this time, if you were here last week, you might remember that we had little pieces of paper with lies on them, lies that we tell ourselves. And we invited you to pick up a lie that resonates with you, one that you tell yourself, and then rip it up and put it in the container, to not take it with you. Don't take that burden with you. But this week is slightly different. We have 6 affirming lines, lines you might need to tell yourself. Let them judge you, but you're not alone. Let them judge you. Yeah, I've heard that before. Maybe you want to come and pick up one of these and take it with you. Hold on to it to remember who you are, what you are worthy of. So as always, this time is yours. You can stay seated, or you can come and grab a piece of paper, or maybe a few of them. This time is yours.
stole my love, you stole my youth. But maybe when you think of me, you will see that I've been forgiving you for all the wrong you've done. 'Cause bad blood, don't run through my veins. Bad blood, don't run through my veins. Yeah, I'm finally cleaning out my closet. And I'm finally breaking the chains. I've had enough of the shame. Bad blood, don't run through my veins. Bad blood, don't run through my veins. Thank you.
And I don't know if you guys remember, I know Ryan had mentioned that Lily Blue was at Sober Open Mic, but she was also here a couple weeks ago with Sarah Hornbuckle and accompanied her on the piano. And then also, if you were here for the Colorado Artist in Recovery Art Show, she was out in the cafe, I think pretty much the whole time. And she is just absolutely amazing. So please give it one more round of applause for the amazing Lily Blue. Thank you so much. If you are new with us, you should know that every week we invite a guest storyteller up into the living room to share their little experience on the topic at hand. It's usually somebody from this community that most people either recognize or may know, but this one's a little special. I just met this person for the first time, like 2 hours ago, in real life, that is. So I want to give a special shout out to anyone in Chicago who is watching, specifically Seth, because Seth was the one who actually introduced us. You know what we're doing, and we're trying to expand free, and these cities keep reaching out to us, and they're like, hey, what are you guys doing? Like, we want to learn from you. And we just get to have these extraordinary conversations, and sometimes they may end up being a free, sometimes they may not, but they want to learn and, you know, just kind of experience the magic that we have here in Denver. This next individual reached out, and Ryan, Tammy, and I met him on Zoom, and then we asked him, he was like, yeah, I'm going to come out with my wife. I want to kind of see what you guys do in person. And so we called him up and we're like, hey, would you be our guest storyteller? I know you've never been here before, but we kind of want to like give you the whole experience. So we're going to actually kind of ask you to come up to the living room. And we're so grateful he said yes. I met him last week and I did the little pre-interview. But then again, like I said, just at like 4 o'clock, I met him for the first time. He's here with his wife, Ashley, who I already think is going to be my new best friend. But I'm just so grateful that you guys get to hear from him. So please do me a favor and welcome Chris up to the living room.
Testing. All right.
Welcome back.
Yeah, round 2.
This is exciting because, as you guys will soon know, Chris actually does a podcast. So this is kind of nice to have the script flipped a little bit, like where I get to ask the question. So that's kind of fun. Well, welcome, Chris. Welcome to Free. This is what we do here.
What a night.
It's pretty amazing, right?
I am kind of, my wife would say that she's never really heard me speechless, but I don't have a whole lot of words on how great this has been. So thank you. Speaking of the podcast, I do want to, I brought a t-shirt. A couple weeks ago, I had a young lady named Kelly on our podcast, and she wore this shirt to it. And when you told me what the series is about last week, I was like, I got to bring the shirt because I love the shirt so much. She bought one and sent one to me. She was on heroin for 23 years and is now approaching 2 years clean and sober, and is a absolute light in this world, never stops smiling, almost lost her leg. Her name's Kelly, to the xylazine and the poison that's in stuff today, and is now going to a methadone clinic every day to help people. So she has an incredible story, and I brought the shirt. So
I'm gonna hold it up. I'm gonna hold it up, and then we'll put it on the couch.
I think you guys will like it. It's pretty badass. It says, "If you bring up my past, you should know that Jesus dropped the charges." So she wore that. And a pretty good
I'm just
shirt.
gonna go ahead and put this up here.
And I need that reminder daily. Daily. I'm sure a lot of you can recognize that. So. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I know one of the reasons that your podcast, that you enjoy doing it so much is because obviously you yourself struggled with addiction. Can you tell us a little bit about what it looked like personally for you and kind of why you now find it as a part of your mission to give back because you once were there?
Yeah. So I have 11, my name is Chris and I'm an alcoholic. That's how I should introduce myself. But I have 11 and a half years clean and sober, one day at a time. Thank you very much. I checked into treatment March 25th of 2014, and I was telling the group earlier that first check-in day, and I was strip searched by a guy named Frank, which is super humbling. I got put into hospital scrubs that were three sizes too small because they were washing all my clothes, and I had this screaming match with Jesus, and I ended up crying myself to sleep that night like a little baby, and I woke up with this just profound sense of peace and surrender, which happened to be the most liberating day of my life. When it came to Jesus, I had always kind of lived a God-fearing life, growing up Italian, and sometimes call myself a recovering Catholic as well, but when I checked into treatment and had that fight with Jesus, I think I've transformed to a God-loving life, and it's a big difference for me.
And what I love so much about your story, too, is we hear a lot of people who are successful with the 12 steps. That was not necessarily, although you're very encouraging of the 12 steps, that was not your journey. Can you tell us what it looks like in your recovery to work an active program that's not one specifically in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous?
Yeah, I was put to the test early with the let them message that Pastor Ryan spoke about tonight and that Mel Robbins wrote about. It was an old timer in AA that, because I'd still gone back to the tavern I grew up at and was trying to help people there, but said I wasn't a real alcoholic because I could still do that, and I felt incredibly judged. And then well, what if I have a drink? You'll see a real fucking alcoholic. I felt pissed off and full of being judged, but I was able to pivot and find it's not against AA, it just happened to be a couple people that can be pretty fanatical, and even AA says it's not the only way, it's a way. And I truly believe that by any means necessary, all the tools that work for you. For me, it was my 1 year of intensive outpatient with 3 groups a week and personal individual therapist. The church community that I had found in recovery that was radically inclusive. I needed a church to go to. If they let me in, they got to let everybody in. We don't care who you sleep with and who you vote for and what color your skin is. And I see the same diversity in treatment and in this room. The disease doesn't care about that shit either. So to counter that, we need a Jesus and a higher power that loves us all equally.
And what I want to ask too is, because kind of to circle back what you were just saying about, you know, you hear that, or I hear that often. It's like, whether it's an AA meeting, like, oh, I hated that meeting, or I hated that therapist, or I hated that church I went to. And we're so quick to judge, and we're so quick to find what's wrong in a situation. How do you help the people that you work with to kind of date around and like not get that negative judgment?
I think Pastor Ryan said it, be in an active recovery as opposed to active addiction. Being in active recovery is not quitting. It's not saying, no, this isn't for me. If you don't like that group, or that AA meeting that you went to, find a different one and keep going until it works. That's recovery. That's fighting this disease every day, whether it's AA, NA, ACA, which I'm a big fan of. A therapist, you're not going to like the first one. You're not going to like the second one maybe, but keep going until you click. And that's how you build confidence and self-esteem and your worth back up. And that's my advice. I believe in all the 12-step groups. One of the things that we've learned at Illinois Recovery Center, a treatment center that my wife and I are a part of, with some of the most amazing people on the planet that I love to death. We've studied our 12-step groups from the alt-right Christian super freak groups all the way to the satanic ritual groups, and everything in between. And any group that has 5 years success with people that have been in recovery and credit them have three things in common, and that is group learning with like-minded people, honesty, and abstinence. And those three things you can find in whatever group works for you.
I want to get a little bit real fast, if that's okay.
I guess we got to do that again.
Are you ready?
That's why we're here, right?
Okay. Sometimes I think people think they can't come up to the couch because their life isn't perfect yet, or they haven't figured out all the answers yet. And I know at the 5 o'clock you were brave enough to say something that you're currently going through that you actually hadn't said really publicly, and it's not like this is real time happening. Can you tell us what it looks like today to show up in those difficult moments when you don't have it all figured out and you know that people could be judging you from afar? How do you live with that, and can you kind of tell us what that looks like?
Yeah. Thanks. No, I was kidding.
Sorry. You said I could.
It's life-saving to be here. 11 and a half years. I think there's probably a lot of time in this room, but there's not a finish line to recovery, active recovery. Something we have to work at every day, and when you think you got it in the bag, it can really bite you in the ass. So, currently I would say I'm probably going through the hardest. I live two lives. I have a professional life that is on fire and burning down, and Monday I'm meeting with lawyers to probably discuss the catastrophic reality of failure in business, and there's so much shame and guilt, and I can hear some people what they're saying, and it eats at me every day. And this isn't something that started during COVID, really. It kind of laid the groundwork, so it's been brutally difficult to carry the shame and guilt that comes with, potentially and possibly really going through some major hardship professionally. The other side of my life is on fire for the good, and that is you guys. That's being in communities like this and being in treatment, connected to a treatment center that does things the right way in Southern Illinois, doing a podcast and letting people spread hope. We run a church service at that recovery center on Saturday nights. We talk about meeting people where they're at. That's the real deal right there. And then Ashley and I, with some help from back home, want to start a recovery church that looks very similar to this community because there's a big gap. There's not a place for people like us that are real and authentic and going through real life hardship. So if I didn't have this life-giving stuff going on, I'd be in real trouble. And through this whole process a couple months ago, it may have been a temper tantrum, I don't know, but I told a CEO of a bank of our bank, and the C-suite of a company that was wanting to kind of buy us out, and things weren't going right. And I told them that they could take my house, my car, and take everything I own, but they'll never take my sobriety, and they'll never take my faith in Jesus. And because it was a temper tantrum, I said, thank you. Because it was a temper tantrum, I said, they'll never take my fucking faith in Jesus. But I think they got the message. Pardon my French, I'm Italian. But I told one of my no guys, and we talked about that at 5 o'clock, and Ryan talked about it tonight, of the people that you go to. I've known this guy my whole life. He's in recovery. He's the majority owner and CEO of IRC. And I told him that I said this, and he said, "You told him that?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, you also told yourself that," because I think I needed to remind myself that. And in saying that, there was no magic genie that came out and saved the day, but it filled my heart and soul, and the Holy Spirit took over, and I'm going to be okay. We're going to be okay. I have the best wife on the planet, super supportive, and I have a lot of people in our corner, and we're going to be fine. We're going to be good as long as I don't take a drink, and as long as I have Jesus in my heart.
Thank you so much for saying that, right? And I do want to get people a chance to get to know you a little bit better, and like how they can find you. So I know we have a slide, so if you guys want to take your phones out and take a picture, this is the QR code to find his podcast. We'll also stick it in the chat, I believe. I just need to figure out how to do that. But you can get a hold of him. And again, what I love so much is that even though you don't have it all figured out, you can still show up for people. I do want to say, just because we are getting close to the end, one final question. So someone who's still out there, and that judgment or the fear of someone judging them is stopping them from getting started, starting over, speaking a truth out loud, both to someone else or to ourselves. What experience, strength, and hope would you tell someone of how does somebody not let them, like when they say, the judgment, how do you let go of that?
I think there was two things I touched on at 5, and we touched on it. Ryan touched on it. That we form a board of directors in our life, and it's our what I need is no people. I need a no guy, a no woman, not yes men, not yes women that are going to tell me everything I want to hear. You need people that will, for your best interest. And then Ryan said it too. You got to be able to receive that shit. You got to be able to hear it. And seek that wisdom. And then to what I said earlier, nobody can take your recovery from you. You can give it away. You can do that, but nobody can take it from you. And nobody can take Jesus from you, ever. But they're yours to give away, but nobody can take them. And I think with those two foundations, this is doable. No matter how hard it gets. There's hills and valleys, but it's not fucking dropping off a cliff and hitting rock bottom anymore. So praying for all of you guys.
Thank you. And I think there was only 2 curse words, not that I was counting, but that's quite impressive.
Four, thanks.
4? Okay, I wasn't counting.
The podcast is a little bit more colorful, and little does my wife know it. She's kind of the CEO of my no people, so.
But those are important, like
Yeah,
those people
I guess.
who will like
They are.
no bullshit zones,
Amen.
right?
Amen.
Can you guys
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, give Chris a round of applause. Thanks, Chris.
Chris. Thank you, Carrie. Dude, I'm so grateful you're here, and can't wait to get to know you more, Chris. And Seth, man, are you jealous? I got to hang out with your boy Chris tonight. How about that? It's going to be fun, man. And honesty, man. Honesty is such a breath of fresh air. And I'm so glad we get to do that here. It's a beautiful thing that happens here. All right, y'all. Well, the way we close on a Saturday night is very similar to how we begin. We begin with celebrations, but we close with what we call heartaches. The burdens that we carry throughout the week, the burdens that we try to carry alone, and then you find out you suck at carrying these alone, and you find out that you actually don't have to. It's why we have community. It's why we have a God who hears the cries of the people. So we take 3 minutes for this. Again, if you're online, drop your heartaches in the Facebook comments or the YouTube comments. We'll join with you there. If you are here in-house, you can simply raise up your hand, and Darren will get you a mic on this side, and Kira will get you a mic on this side, and we'll take 3 minutes for this. If you just need some prayer, some lifting up, some encouragement, well, speak the burden into the mic, and that's what this time is for. This time is yours.
My name is Layla again. My friend Sarah, I spoke about her a couple weeks ago, has a daughter who started having seizures. Well, they're in San Diego right now, and when they got there, her daughter had another seizure. So if we could just pray for their safe return home and get her situated.
Prayers for them. Thank you for lifting them up, then.
People that have a really hard time because of something that happened, and they're actually thinking about recovery for the first time ever. So I'd like to pray for them.
Yeah, those people right on the edge, praying for them to take that first step. You know what I love about this place? Sometimes the 7 o'clock is more rowdy than the 5 o'clock. And tonight the 7 o'clock is like so smooth. It's kind of a beautiful thing to see, y'all. But if you have heartaches, this is also your time. Going once. Well, let's hear it, dude.
Sorry, me again. I've been working with a girl that is very near and dear to my heart, like a sister, and she has gotten so close to saying yes to changing her life, but she hasn't done it yet. And you know, she's really struggling with fentanyl, and she knows that there's a hand out there. We just got to get ready for her. So prayers that she's ready.
Yeah. Prayers for her tonight. Got a rough one in the front here.
One of my friends is very recently sober, trying to stick it out with his girlfriend who continuously is bringing drugs and alcohol around him. He's actually with her tonight instead of coming here, and I just want to pray for him, make sure he's still doing good.
Yeah. Give him a call afterwards. Check in on him.
Most definitely.
And then shame him for not being here. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. We don't do shame. Thank you, Darren and Kira. Which one of you wants to join me up here? Come on, D-Dog. It's been a while since you've been up on this stage. Now, Darren, you're taking
All right, I'll do it.
You're taking a big step in your life here in a couple weeks.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're getting married.
I am.
I need to decide if I'm coming or not, but it's going to be a good...
Did you get an invitation?
I got an invitation. I'm going to be there, but I am going to be late, as I was telling Kira. I won't be late, dude. Come on. We know this.
Don't do that to me.
All right, shall we join our online people? You get the first one. It's really long, Jennifer.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Jennifer Brown says, I recently left a pretty abusive, manipulative DV relationship in which ended with my partner shooting her gun in our home and getting arrested. Their repeated behaviors of hurt leave me feeling like it's me, but I know deep down it's them. I almost went and saw her tonight, but then came across this service on my Facebook. Thank you for speaking to my heart tonight and giving me a reason to choose myself. Please pray for me to really let go and heal. Sometimes I feel like people are harder to quit than drugs. My heart is struggling to keep holding on when I know I need to let go.
Yeah, Jennifer. Yeah, we can even clap for that one, huh? Thank you for your vulnerability and sharing so openly with us, and prayers for you, Jennifer. We're glad you stumbled upon this feed tonight. Glad you're here. Is there another one online? Susan says, please continue to pray for my daughter and those who love her. Yes, we are going to continue lifting her up. I noticed you didn't mention her by name, so that might be intentional, so I won't say her name, but continued prayers for her and her recovery. All right, thank you, Darren, for being up here with me, brother.
Hey, no problem.
All
Thank
right, you can go take a seat now and relax. All right, y'all, if you have been impacted by the mission here of breaking the silence of addiction, if this is your community, your home, your people, you should know that we are funded by you, the people. To put it really simply, without your giving, we don't exist. And the truth is, we're just funded by you, the people. It's how we keep doing what we're doing here at Free. And I know some of you, you've made it a spiritual practice in your life of giving. You had, man, in your addiction, you had no practice of giving because it took everything from you. And now you're in a position to give, even if it's a little bit. And I mean this when I say it. Even if you don't give here, which we appreciate it when you do, please do give somewhere because it changes you. It changes the mindset. But we are appreciative when you give here. And there's a few different ways you can do it. You can jump online and download the free Recovery Community app, and there's a giving button there. You can give one time, or you can set it up to give weekly or monthly, however you want to do it. We're grateful for all of it. You can also go straight to the website, freerecoverycommunity.com and hit the giving button there. Or there's the two giving baskets just outside these doors, the front doors and the back doors. And there's the giving kiosk, which is, it's called the Kind Kiosk. And it's the one-tap system with like credit card, Apple Pay, does it that way. It's a very safe and easy, secure way to give. And online people, I know y'all give. Some of you, I said this a couple weeks ago, you've never been here, you've never stepped foot in this place, and yet this is your home, this is your community, and we're really grateful. When you give here, it makes a big difference. So thank you for being a part of it. All right, y'all, shall we close with a prayer? Yeah, I would invite you to just open up the hands. It's not magical. It's just a simple sign of openness. And maybe tonight you're open to a new way. You're open to letting them so that you can actually keep going. Letting them so that you can actually keep your peace, your serenity. So just take a big, deep breath. Even at home, if you're at home, just, remind yourself you're still here. God's still with you. And if you don't know the St. Francis prayer, well, it's on the screen. We'll pray it together, and it goes like this. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love, for it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen. Grace and peace to y'all. See you next time.